Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
In the Bible, we find many words we don't usually use in other contexts. One of those words is favor. However, we do use the word favorite a lot, so think about some of your favorite things. My favorite candy flavor is cherry. So if someone had a handful of different flavors of Lifesavers, I'd choose a red one. In fact, I keep a pack of Lifesavers in my purse. Now I eat all of the flavors, but when a red one comes up, I smile. And when I eat it, I savor it more. In the Bible, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Gideon, Mary, and others found favor in the eyes of the Lord. He delighted in them, found pleasure in them, gave them grace. Not that God plays favorites or anything, but these people made Him smile. We find this word throughout the Bible, but for our study on the blessed verses, I found it in Psalm 5, 11, and 12. It says, "But let all those rejoice who put their trust in you. Let them ever shout for joy because you defend them. Let those also who love your name be joyful in you. For you, O Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor you will surround him as with a shield." In this verse, it's like our relationship with the Lord is a non-ending circle of favor. We see who God is and what He's done, so we trust Him. We see that trust is not misplaced because He works on our behalf, favoring us with His grace. As we experience this, we love Him even more and become joyful in Him, which delights Him, and He surrounds us with favor. Doesn't that sound like a cycle that you'd like to be caught in? However, we must remember that the Lord's favor doesn't always mean everything's going to be easy and fun. Oh no. If you look back at the biblical people I mentioned earlier, you'd see life in God's favor can be pretty scary. Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord, and God called him to build a huge boat and start the human race over with just him and his family. When God showed His favor to Abraham, He asked him to leave his home and family and be a wanderer in a land he personally would never own. And Moses, God's favor saddled him with a huge multitude of whiny former slaves who rebelled against God and against Moses at almost every step between Egypt and the Promised Land. Gideon found favor in God's sight, but that meant overcoming some huge fears in his life and leading a small, inexperienced army against a much larger enemy, and trusting God for the results. Come to think of it, all these men had to trust God for the result of the things that He had called them to do. They had to step out in faith, and with that faith, they found God's favor even more. The angel greeted Mary with, "Do not be afraid, for you have found favor with God." There was plenty to be afraid of getting stoned for adultery on one hand, and being looked down upon for the rest of her life on the other hand. But really, who cares what other people think when you have the favor of God? No matter what happens, you can rejoice, be joyful, and even shout for joy, as the psalm says, because your step of faith is making God smile. And He's the one in charge of every detail of every day, as well as the big picture that we can only see when our life is over. What step of faith is the Lord calling you to make? Do you trust Him? Remember, He surrounds you with a shield of His favor. Hey, podcast listeners, if these podcasts have found favor in your eyes, please let us know and share them with others.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.